Hello everybody, welcome back. I hope you're doing great. So, judging by the different angle in this video and the day this is going to be uploaded, we have another Saturday video. And this time, it is a review of a movie. Now, this is actually not a Korean or Asian movie, but I'll be completely honest, I saw this at work and I was so confused by it. Like, it is a good movie, but I was confused by it that I was like, I wasn't thinking I was doing a video about it, but here I am doing one because I have opinions, I have questions, and I don't know if somebody there can help me answer them. I don't know, but again, it's not a bad movie, but I just have questions. I don't think it's bad to have questions after watching this. Like, I watched this at work. I was looking for something to watch and I saw this and I was like, oh, let's watch it. And then I ended up finishing it at lunch. Like, I stopped watching it while working because I was like, I need to pay attention because I have questions. I'm talking about the movie Back in Action, and it was released on January 17th of 2025, and I literally watched it that day. Like, I didn't know that it came out that day, and after I finished watching it, I was like, I need to know what people are thinking. And then I realized that was the day that it came out, and I was like, oh, I saw this very early. So I waited a bit to be able to kind of see what people thought about this movie because I didn't want to think I was the only crazy one thinking what I was thinking about this movie. I don't think so, but this is what we're going to be talking. Back in Action. And this is a movie on Netflix, as always, and it is an American one. It's not Asian. This movie is like almost 2 hours long. Now, I will say, for me it's like an hour and 30-40 minutes, not really 2 hours, because the credits are like 30 minutes, or it feels like 30 minutes. The credits are long, so 2 hours long, subtract like 20 minutes for credits, so it's technically 1 hour and like 4-ish minutes, the actual movie. So just keep that in mind. Let me tell you a little bit about the movie. I have my notes so I don't forget anything. This one, the notes aren't that long because, again, things happen, but at the same time, not too many things. It's just weird. Okay, let me just tell you about the movie first. So, we meet Matt and Emily. They both work for the CIA. They are agents, and they are a couple. The agency doesn't know they're a couple. When they're doing the mission, it's that they kind of notice they're a couple, but they're a couple, and they're on a mission to get a key. This key, it is called Industrial Control System, or ICS for short. That's how they call this key, and it is on Polish KBG agent turned terrorist called Gore. That person has the key. I'm not joking. That's how they described it. I'm just that's how they describe the person, but it's called Gore, the guy. They are getting into the mansion. There's a birthday party to the son of the person, I don't know, but they came to the mansion, they get the key, they get out. Good. Okay, so they're supposed to get into an airplane to go flying back to the agency. When they came in the airplane, Emily thought this was a great time to tell Matt that she's pregnant. She literally just tells him and throws a bunch of pregnancy tests on the table and be like, I'm sure all of them are positive. And Matt is like, okay, we are doing this. It's good, we are doing this. While I mean, why was she carrying those positive pregnancy tests this whole time? Where? I don't know, but they were there. The thing is, while having this conversation, Emily has to go to the bathroom, of course. That's when they notice the people in the airplane aren't really for the agency or anything. They are people that work for Gore, looking for them and for the key. So somehow he knew who they were very quickly, and they had the whole airplane and people working or posting as a staff for this. That was very quick. That happened. Either way, there is this long fight scene happening in the airplane, of course, which we will talk about because it doesn't make sense. She's pregnant, but she does. I don't know, but we will talk about that scene in a second. They have this long fight in the airplane, and the airplane ends up crashing down, just cut in half, break in half, I guess you could call it, and they are able to get out before the airplane explodes. Now, there's only one parachute that they can use, which Matt, of course, gives it to her. But she's like, no. She takes him, jumps, and she's holding him with her tight, like her legs, with one parachute, just cruising. How is that? Okay, we'll talk about it in a second. We'll talk about it at the end. But the point is, they know they're compromised. They know people are looking after them, so they decide to go off the grid. Off the grid means 15 years later. 15 years later. God, I'm gonna laugh so much at this. 50 years later, they are married. They have 2 children. They have Alice and Leo. Alice is the oldest. It's a girl, and she's the typical rebel child age part type daughter that just does whatever she wants and hide things from the parents. And Leo, it's the youngest, and he's your typical smart young child that everything is protected by technology and passwords, so parents don't know anything about him. It's just typical child. Honestly, it's just typical in this family. Alice, being the rebel child, she lies to her parents saying that she's gonna study, but she isn't. She's actually in a club, which Matt and Emily does find out where she is, and they do go to the club. They end up fighting a couple of people. There's a video that they even took of them fighting. Of course, Alice is like, why the hell does my typical parents can fight like this? And they take her out. They just take her out back to the house. So after that, there is this guy called Chuck. We see him at the beginning of the movie when they were doing the mission, and he appears again now. So the video they took of Matt and Emily fighting in the club, he saw it. He went looking for them, and he's like, hey, if I have you, if I found you, that means the agency can find you, and they think you have the key. Where is it, essentially? And Emily is like, no, we don't have it, we lost it, we gave it to the people when we were in the airplane and fighting and all of that. And Matt is like, I'm sorry, but we do have it. And Emily's like, what? And he tells her that he didn't actually give it to the people in the airplane. He faked it, and he hid it in Emily's mom mansion in London, I think it is, because he wanted to have some leverage just in case something happened. He could use the key as leverage and save them, being like, hey, I can give you the key, but you need to guarantee us something to protect us, something like that, which Emily of course didn't know anything about this. So while talking to Chuck, Chuck dies. They kill him right there in front of them. It's very bloody, but he's dead. And of course, Emily and Matt just go into high alert and be like, it's the Gore people, the people that work for Gore are looking for us. So they get in the car, they're able to escape. They go to where the children's are, which is cool. They take them, and they are like, yeah, we're just going on a small little trip to London to meet your grandmother. Yeah, Emily's mom. And the children are like, what the hell is happening? But they do end up getting to England. Now, her mother is called Jeannie, and she is a former MI6 sniper, and she lives in a mansion that is fully protected, which is why Matt hid the key there, because he knew it was gonna be protected. So they go there. Of course, Emily and Jeannie's reaction is not the greatest. Okay, there's definitely things not being resolved there. They haven't seen each other in years, so the relationship is almost non-existent. Lots of fighting. While being there, they're not only being chased by Gore people, they're also being chased by the agency, especially somebody named Baron. We kind of see him at the beginning. He's Emily's ex-boyfriend. He's still very much obsessed with her. You can kind of tell while watching the movie, but they're also following them. Sometimes they think the agency is after them, but no, Byron just wanted to kind of protect them in a way. Before getting to the mansion of where Emily's mother lives, they are stopping a gas station. There is the whole fight in the gas station. Again, very long one. And this one, the children does see it. Like, they're trying to eat in the big window. They can see the gas station, and they're seeing the parents fight. And it's kind of hilarious because they're fighting And Leo is like, should we call 911? And Ali's like, that is not the number here. We're in a whole different country, my boy. So the fight ends, and of course after the fight that they're going, Matt and Emily does tell the children, it's like, hey, we are former CIA agents. They do cut to Ginny's house mansion because it is huge. We also meet another guy named Nigel, which I'm guessing is Ginny's boyfriend because they do kiss and do a lot of stuff together. So I'm guessing is her boyfriend. You know, Nigel is a funny guy. He definitely has some problems, but he's a funny guy. He's hilarious. Matt and Emily does find the key. Of course, Matt finds it. They have it. Great. While they're finding the key, they start hearing these helicopters coming around, and they realize they found them in the mansion. Now, when they go to find the person, they see Chuck. Chuck is there. He didn't die really when they kill him. He is after the key. He is working with the Gore people, I think, or it's his own team. I think he has his own team working with him, and he basically is like, I wanted the key and done. And he has the children. He has Alice and Leo with him, of course, tied up and everything, but they're there. And essentially he goes into saying that when Emily and Matt went off the grid after the mission, he lost everything. The agency blamed him for what happened. He lost a job, he lost a marriage, dog, everything. So he wants the key to sell it to get money, of course. And revenge is just a side thing. It's just the side dish. He just cares about the money. So there's, again, a bit of a fight. Lots of fights going here, honestly, between Matt, Emily, and the people. But they get knocked down either way. And Chuck does take the children with him to wherever he is selling the key. Using Leo's smart ring, he's always wearing this ring that apparently has a GPS. They find the children. They are in Tate Modern in London. That's how the place is called. And Chuck is there holding a demonstration of what the key can do to sell it to people. Blah, 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 blah. Typical thing. More fighting happens. Baron does get there. And they do help Emily and Matt with saving the children. They're able to save them together with Ginny and Nigel's help. They're able to get the children back. Have the final battle with Chuck, where Chuck does die on the river. They're basically in a boat where they're fighting, and he dies. At the end of everything, it ends with Alice in her soccer game, and she wins, and all of them are having the greatest time together. And Byron visits Matt and Emily, so when they get in the car, Byron is there waiting for them, and he's basically saying that they never found Chuck's body and that they think he's alive. Of course, because he has more lives than a cat, so he's, of course, alive somewhere off the grid. It doesn't surprise me if he is, but they never found his body, and the agency wants to recruit Emily's father to investigate, which apparently Matt didn't know that the father was alive. He has never met the father. And that's how it ends. It ends with him knowing that her father is alive, and the agency wanted to have him to investigate if Chuck is actually alive. That's how it ends. This is only the important stuff that you need to know. The rest of the movie is a lot of talking. It's a lot of long fights. Literally it just feels like a 30-minute fight every time. It's way too long. It's way too much, okay? So, but technically that is the movie. That is it. That is it. I think that's the shortest, like, review. I mean, not review, but like this is like the shortest explanation I have done of a movie ever. Because that's the only thing that happens. That's the only important stuff that happens. The rest is just a lot of talking. That's all. Again, I saw this movie when it came out, so at that time there wasn't that much information that I could find. I did wait a couple of days while I was doing the notes and all of that, so to see what people were talking about and what they thought about this movie. Now, I did went to Rotten Tomatoes, which is a page that a lot of people use to see what the movies are doing, all of that. And see, it says the movie is 1 hour and 54 minutes. subtract like 15 or 20 minutes for the credits, and that's how long the movie is. Action comedy. Now it says 28% tomato meter, and the popcorn meter it's 58%, so the audience 58%. On Netflix, this movie is still in the top 10 movies. Last time I checked, it was like number 1 or number 2, so people are still watching it, and I'm guessing enjoying the movie because it's still in the top 10. So it's kind of doing okay in Netflix. The audience is the one that is technically ripping this movie apart. Being like, this movie sucked, it's not good, script is not the greatest. So there's a lot of mixed reviews when it comes to this movie, at least on Rotten Tomatoes, in my opinion. What I have been seeing so much there is basically saying that it's a good movie but nothing else. There's nothing unique, there's nothing interesting about it. It's just your typical parents of CIA, they're being chased, save us, that type of a thing. There's nothing really new about it. Now for me, this is a good movie. Okay, I wanna say that it is a good movie. It is funny, it is action, it's entertaining. So it's a good movie. I enjoy watching it. I just have questions, I just have opinions about this because it was also very weird. But again, it's your typical CIA parents, children don't know, which make things worse, and all of that. So it's just a typical spy agency CIA movie. There's nothing really unique about this. I've seen this a bunch of times, and this movie didn't really add anything interesting to make it different. And again, it just left with me questions and opinions. So let's talk about this. I numbered this because I didn't want to forget anything, and it's a bit so this part might be longer than me talking about the movie. First, number 1, the music in here is good, okay? In this movie, it fits the movie. It is well placed in the sense of where the music starts. It's good, it goes well with these things. You know, the music definitely helped building up that tension in the fights and all that. So the music is good. Tell me why the fights are in slow motion. What's the reason behind it? Why are they in slow motion? Now I think the last fight or the last 2 fights were in slow motion, or at least it sort of had a little bit of slow motion to it, but I think the last one didn't. But the beginning ones, like the first 3 or 4, it has slow motion into it. Why? I don't understand why. It feels like they wanted to like do something different or extend the fight longer, and they were like, let's just put a few pieces here and there in slow motion, and that will make it interesting, that will make it cool. No, at least it was boring me. I was like, I wanna like just skip like 10 seconds, but I can't because I feel like if I do, I'll make something. But no, I mean, honestly, you can kind of skip it if you don't like the slow motion parts, but it's in fights. I don't understand why. I think they were just trying to make them look cooler, but it doesn't work. The gas station, Matt is with the gas pump blowing everything just slow motion. I don't understand the slow motion in the fight scenes. Number 2, the script, and this is the one that I mean, there's a part that I was about to throw my phone off to the wall because I was like, what the hell is this? Now I get the feeling, and it comes back to a few of the people saying this in Rotten Tomato, which makes sense. I get the feeling that this movie was to attract young people, like the new generation young people right now. I get the feeling because the script, they were trying to make it relatable, question mark, but not really. Like the script, maybe it's just me, okay, but it feels childish in a way. Maybe it's just me, but it just feels that way, okay? Again, it's like a bad attempt at being relatable to young people and how they speak right now, and the words that they use, and the new things that this young generation is like liking and enjoying it. That's how it feels like, because it's just like okay, there's a part when they were in the mansion, didn't mention it too much because there's a lot of talking when they're in Gina's house, just a bunch of talking because of course there's not a good relationship between her and Emily, and it's kind of the same thing between Emily and Alice. There's not a good relationship there, and there's a part where Alice is alone because she heard Emily and Jenny talk, and Jenny goes to her and they're talking. You know, Alice is like, I don't hate my mother, but this and that, normal stuff, and Jenny is like, it's fine. Do you want some tea? Let's go and get some tea. And and oh my god, and Alice is like, oh, but what tea? And Jenny's just there like, let's just go. I almost turned my phone off to the wall. Bubble tea. I almost lost it with that line. It's like trying to make it relatable. The whole relationship between the children and the parents, and not working out because of the generation difference and all of that, and Emily trying to like be relatable with her children, trying to do cool things that children apparently liked at that time. So it just feels childish. Maybe it's just me. It's just the script is weird in this movie. Number 3. No, I'm not done. Some of the scenes here don't make sense. Now I understand it's a movie, and movie can do whatever you want, and things don't really have to make sense because it's a movie, but still it's kind of weird. Like, for example, when they were fighting on the plane barely moved, okay? Like, you're in the air, there's about to be some turbulence, maybe you can kind of, you know, feel a few things. They even fight the captain, I feel like, I don't know, but the plane barely moves. And then Emily's pregnant and she's fighting and she's doing this whole thing. Is that there's a part where the guy was going to hit her stomach and she protects it, but also you're jumping around, turning in tables and planting yourself on the floor like nothing. And Matt is not helping either. Like, I feel like if I was mad and I see my girl, you know, that is pregnant fighting, I wouldn't let her fight. I would be pushing her out and fighting the guy myself. Again, I know it's a movie and things don't have to make sense, but it's like, okay. And then there's another part, the parachute thing. Now I do know there's a parachute that can be used for 2 people. There's a guy controlling it and the other person is like tied up. Like, I know. But this parachute, like, can a parachute that is supposed to be for 1 person hold 2 people? Is it different parachutes or is it the same thing? It's just, it's generally a question. Because I don't know if it is okay to use 1 parachute. I don't know if there's different parachutes for 1 person and for 2 people. I don't know, but it's weird because she's holding him with her legs, and then the hilarious thing is at the end when they land, he's like, "Oh, girl, your legs are still strong like always," and I'm like, huh. I'm so confused. I don't know, maybe just me. I just had a question about the parachute thing. Anyway, again, it's a movie. They can do whatever they want, but it's weird when he was like, "You still have strong legs, my lady," and I'm like, God, they're trying to make this so reliable. Okay, and number 4, this is the last one, I promise. There were some shots, you know, in the movie that didn't fully make sense. Now again, it's a movie, they can do whatever they want, it doesn't have to make sense, I understand. But just, some things were weird. Like, there was part at the end-ish where they're both riding a bike, and they're riding, each one is riding a bike, they're different ones, and they're riding it and they have the thing to protect their heads. It was like the helmet, and the helmets have a visor and the visors are up. I feel like that should be down if you're riding as quickly as they were riding, because the air is just kind of fucked up your eyes, in my opinion. And they're talking like nothing. Like, they can hear each other. I have seen videos of people trying to talk with their helmets and it's kind of hard. And they're talking like nothing and they're going very quickly again, and air is just, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it is possible, okay, and I have never rode a bike, so that's probably why I don't know anything. But it's just weird. Just weird decisions were made when doing the fight scenes and weird things. Definitely, it's just, again, trying to make it more dynamic to be appealing to young people. That's basically what they were doing. They were trying to appeal to young people with this movie and making it something different and exciting, and it's like, It's the same. If you have seen oldish CIA movies, Spy Kids, somebody out there has had to be seen Spy Kids, the original and the other ones that they have done. It's the same thing where the parents are CIA or work with an agency and the childs don't know, and when the childs know, they start doing what the parents do because they're rebels. You know, the only difference that here the children really no one, well, Leo, when he was talking to Nigel, Nigel is like, you're the child of 2 CIA agents, it's in your blood, and it kind of make us look like he could be the next generation to be a CIA agent. So it kind of fits with the Spy Kids type of thing, but still it's the same thing of parents being agents and the children not knowing. If you want to watch something like that, I would highly suggest Spy Kids. There's like 3 or 4 movies. I think the last one was other cast. It doesn't matter. It is a great movie, all of them. So if you want to watch something like this, I would suggest Spy Kids. It is really good in my opinion. So yeah, again, the actors are great. Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz, they're amazing as the main characters. I love their chemistry. It was nice. I have seen the stuff that they have worked separately and it's amazing. They did a good job. The budget for this was $70 million bucks. $70 million dollars. That is a lot. And you can definitely see in the movie. Again, there's a cool things here and there that you can definitely see, like, oh, they spent budget on this. But I do wish they would have done a little bit more with the children. The children were just there and done. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with them. Again, they're the typical children, so something different with the children would have been good. Maybe if they were adults and they didn't still know that their parents were CIA agents, that would have been kind of cool, because they had to like get together of them being already adults and having to go through all of this. So that would have been something different and kind of cool and a different kind of side of it, instead of them being children, just being already adults, not knowing anything still. That would have been kind of cool. Again, typical villain thing of not being dead and kind of faking dead. Nothing new. I do wish they would have done something else. Again, it follows your typical CIA family type of story, and if you want that, just watch Spy Kids. That is such amazing movies. But if you have seen this, let me know what you thought of this. Did you like this movie? If you can answer a few of my questions, you're more than welcome. But if you have seen it, let me know what you thought of this movie. Did you like it? What's your favorite part? Is there things that didn't make sense to you? Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're doing great, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Bye bye.